Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about the 6th anniversary. It's obviously very, very close. So I'm recording this video on April 22nd, and I think the anniversary is probably just over a month away. And we are about to get what I think should probably end up being the final banner before a bit of a dry spree until we hit the anniversary. It's typically how the game works, what we've done the past 4 or 5 years now. We are in the middle of the Saiyan Saga celebration. We just got the banner for the Mega Rising Saiyan Saga base Goku and Yamcha. And we should be getting another banner at the end of the month. Not sure if it's going to be an Ultra or an LF. I think it's for sure going to be one of those two. I don't think they're going to double up on Mega Rising banners. I would probably assume it's going to be an Ultra just to sort of get people to spend their CC before heading into the anniversary. But it very well could be an LF, but I think either one of those things will be the final big release that we get prior to the anniversary landing. And that should be at the end of the month. I mean, the thing about this month is April doesn't actually have... it doesn't extend into Wednesday on that second week. So again, I'm recording this on the 22nd. This week, the 24th, we're going to get Reset. That's going to be the Zenkai Revival Green Gohan plus the unique equipment for LF Piccolo. And then the following week, Wednesday, is actually May 1st. So what I think is going to happen is I actually think they're going to reveal whatever the character is going to be on Monday the 29th. And then I think they'll drop on Tuesday the 30th, just so that they could push them out at the end of the month. That's a little bit of an odd timing there, just due to how April ended up being this year, but I think that's what's probably going to happen. Just that whatever the character they release comes out at the end of the month here. And then we have about a 3-week period, maybe 3.5 weeks until the anniversary drops. And I don't expect to receive any new banners until the anniversary drops. And again, that is typically what we see every single year. Usually what happens is they come out with some kind of like update in the middle of May or the early portion of May. You guys remember last year, that's when we got the Super Saiyan Blue transformation for Shallot, and they redid the customization screen for Shallot. They gave him all the different forms, and they basically overhauled how Shallot worked. So I'm not sure if we're going to see anything to that level this year, but I would assume that we're going to be seeing some sort of game update in the middle of May before the anniversary begins. Maybe that's when they're going to push out the guild update that they talked about a few months ago now. But they initially first talked about years ago, and they've been slowly drip feeding us updates on that, so we'll see. But I want to quickly just first discuss when I think the anniversary is actually going to drop. So what I've done here is I pulled up a calendar. You guys should be able to, maybe I should zoom in a little bit more here. So we're going to start with 2022 because there is a bit of a trend here in terms of the timing of releases for the Part 1 banners. And I also have the Legends Fest banners pulled up as well, just so that I can reinforce that trend. So obviously we start with 2022, the 4th anniversary with UI Goku. The UI Goku banner drops on May 28th at 12 p.m. Japan time. So May 28th is a Saturday. So just keep note of that. Then we're going to move on to, I think I'll do the anniversaries first. So the 5th anniversary, obviously, is 2023 in May. So we're going to skip forward to 2023. And this comes out on May 27th, which, lo and behold, is a Saturday. May 27th is a Saturday. So it seems to me that they're probably going to choose to release the Part 1 banner this year on the last Saturday in May, because that's typically what they do for the anniversary, which means that the anniversary would come out on the 25th of May this year, which is a little bit earlier than normal. Again, we have the 28th and the 27th, but it's not that early to where I don't think they can do it. So I think, based off of the past 2 anniversaries and when those Part 1 banners have dropped, it makes the most sense to me that Part 1 banner for this year will drop on May 25th, 2024 at 12 p.m. Japan time, which means we'll probably end up getting the reveal on the 24th Japan time, which is typically how they do things. And similar pattern here for Legends Festival banners. I just pulled this up to reinforce this. 11/25 and 11/24 during those years respectively. So if we go back to 2022 real quick, 11/25, 11/24. So 11/25 in 2022 was a Friday, and then 11/24 in 2023 was a Friday. So they typically like to keep the same date every single year. The reason why they do Friday for Legends Fest is because it is Black Friday on those days. Otherwise, I think they'd probably just release them on Saturday as well. So I think that's what we're looking at in terms of timing for the Part 1 anniversary banners. Now, in terms of the format, if you guys remember back to last year's anniversary, the 5th anniversary, I can get rid of these Legends Fest banners now. the 5th anniversary. Part 1 was one banner, but it was a very high value banner because it brought out multiple characters. We had 4 summonable Sparkings on this banner. We had Goku and Frieza. We had the transforming Jiren, who were both incredible. And then we had the green Kiawe, who was actually, I think, pretty underrated at the time when she dropped. And then we had the red Casserole, who was kind of like the meme character of the banner that wasn't exceptional, but he was okay. He was okay. So the banner overall was very good, and it wasn't really anything out of the ordinary from what we were expecting moving into the anniversary at that point. Then we head into part 2, and they do the reveal and stuff, and they give us the Legends Limited Orange Piccolo, who was going to drop next to, I believe it was, who came out with Orange Piccolo? It was like the Red Glasses Gohan, right? So it was the Red Glasses Gohan and Orange Piccolo for part 2. Then they faked us out and showed us that they were also going to be dropping a tag Gamma 1 and 2 with Magenta and Cell Max. So that was a double LF banner for part 2, which at the time we weren't expecting that. So people were very surprised by that. I was very surprised by that. I think most people consider that to be one of the better reveals that we've seen for any of the reveals and stuff for Legends, including anniversary stuff. So really, really strong reveal for part 2. And then as expected, part 3 ended up giving us an Ultra character, which was Ultra Vegito Blue, to end off the anniversary. At this point, I don't really think they're going to change the part 3 format. They're always going to be ending with the Ultra, the anchor to the celebration to really carry things home. They actually, for last year, Vegito Blue ended up hitting top grossing in Japan, which is a very, very tough thing to do in this day and age with the gacha market and the mobile game market. So they had a very successful 5th anniversary. And then taking a look at Legends Fest, they sort of changed the format up a little bit. Instead of releasing the dual LF banner during part 2, they released it during part 1. And then we got the Legends original character in part 2. And then we got, of course, the Ultra to finish things out in part 3. So just in terms of the format for the 6th anniversary here, I think what I'm expecting is I'm expecting them to sort of keep the same format as the Legends Festival celebration. I don't think they're going to keep the same thing for the 5th anniversary. And the main reason why I say that is because I think they're going to continue to experiment and try out the Legends original characters for the part 2 of these big celebrations. So for Legends Fest, we had Goku and Bardock released for part 2. We had the Legends original story event, which was pretty cool. I wasn't really a big fan of the Bardock and Goku character choice, just because I didn't think Sun Family really needed the help that they ended up getting during Legends Fest. Part 1, 2, and 3 all had insanely premium Sun Family characters, which I think completely ruined the experience. But Goku and Bardock as like a standalone character with their animations I thought were really cool. Unfortunately, they did steal a lot of the animations from the Summon animation, which were kind of reused and stuff. But Goku and I think the original story event was pretty cool, and I think the concept of having like these sort of like game original what if tag units is something that they will continue to experiment with during big celebrations like this. And so I think part 2 of the 6th anniversary will feature a what if game originals Legends original character, and I'll talk about what I think that could be in a little bit here. But that's going to be what I think part 2 is going to be, which means that part 1 I think is going to be 2 LF banners. I think they could just do 1, but I really don't think they would want to intentionally downgrade the quality of the anniversary, right? Because we just had 2 major celebrations, the 5th anniversary and Legends Fest, that both celebrations gave us 2 dual LF banners, like for both the celebrations at some point. So I don't think they're going to do just like 1-1 and then an Ultra. I think it's going to be 1-2 and an Ultra, or 2-1 and an Ultra. And because I think they're going to keep the Legends original format for part 2, I think they're going to do 2-1. So 2 LFs, 1 LF, and then Ultra. So part 1 is going to be 2 LFs, part 2 is going to be 1 LF, which is a what if, sort of like a Legends original, game original character. And then part 3 will be whatever the Ultra is going to be. So that's what I think the format's going to be. Talked about the scheduling. So let's go ahead and talk about what I think the potential options are for characters. This is where things are going to get a little bit tough, because at this point, this is something that's sort of been in play for a little bit now, but we really do have like all the major moments represented in the game. Up until the 5th anniversary, we were kind of like, Goku and Frieza is like the one moment they didn't really have besides like Universal Spirit Bomb, and I didn't think Universal Spirit Bomb was anniversary material, especially part 1 anniversary material. So the Goku and Frieza selection for the 5th anniversary I didn't think was anything out of left field. I think most people saw the Legends Fest Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta coming as well, because that was another major thing that they did not have represented in the game at the time. Beast Gohan was definitely a bit of a surprise. I think most people didn't expect to get another version of him so quickly like that. So when it comes to part 1 of anniversaries, so the first anniversary we had LF Super Vegito. Second anniversary we had Vegito Blue, so Vegito. Third anniversary we had Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, so fusion. Then the fourth anniversary they broke the trend of fusion characters for part 1, and they gave us Ultra Instinct Goku, the Master Ultra Instinct Goku for part 1. And then we had the 5th anniversary, which was Goku and Frieza, who I think if you compare like how exciting, how hype Goku and Frieza is as a character compared to the first 3 anniversaries, or first 4 anniversaries, I think there is a pretty significant drop off there. I understand it's a very hype moment. I think you could make the case that they are probably worth anniversary in terms of leading the anniversary and headlining the anniversary, but compared to Super Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and UI Goku, they're not on that level. So they really, I think that's one of the reasons why they felt the necessity to go really hard with part 2 and 3. But I think overall it ended up being really fun. The 5th anniversary, I would still consider that to be the best celebration to this day. Legends Fest was really, really good as well. I think part 2 of Legends Fest just really ruined the momentum of the celebration for me. I think part 2 was honestly, it was pretty underwhelming for various reasons I'm not going to go into in this video. But I do consider the 5th anniversary, at least for me, to be the best celebration so far. So in terms of characters, again, it's really hard to pick who I think is going to be here. There is one thing I would like to talk about quickly in terms of, I guess, just patterns that we've seen throughout the game since the game's launched, and that has to do with Fusion Warriors. Whenever we talk about big celebrations with Anniversary or Legends Fest, we always have to consider Fusion Warriors. Fusion Warriors are the money-making characters of this franchise. Super Saiyan Goku is popular. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from the Cell games is popular. Majin Vegeta is popular. All those characters are great. You know, Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, Rose, Frieza. They're all very iconic. They're all very good. Fusion characters are the characters that make the most money for the games. That's just the way it is. I don't make the rules. And it's very apparent given the placement of Fusion Warrior characters throughout the game's history in terms of when they've released, most of the time during big celebrations. So I think it is always on the table to at least talk about the possibility of getting Fusion Warriors during these celebrations. So for part 1, what I'm thinking here is we've seen a Super Gogeta release with Pikkon sort of being the scapegoat for Gogeta, right? It's Pikkon, Green reviving Pikkon into Super Gogeta from Fusion Reborn. Whenever we see a Vegito or a Gogeta character release, almost every single time, there's always going to be a equivalent of the other character. So the very first Super Gogeta to release was the red Super Gogeta. I can't remember the exact month he came out. I think it was either September or October that Red Super Gogeta released. I want to say it was September because I know it was the fall of 2018 when Super Gogeta came out. So he releases, and then in the first anniversary, we get Super Vegito. Now, I don't know if I directly call that a counterpart to Gogeta because Super Vegeta was an LF and Gogeta was not, because LF didn't exist when Gogeta released, but they were still sparking versions, standalone Super Gogeta, Super Vegito. Those were the very first versions of those characters that we received. Then the next versions we got the LF Vegito Blue for the second anniversary, and then we ended up getting the LF Gogeta Blue during Legends Fest, the very first Legends Fest we've ever received. It was Ultra Instinct Goku Part 1, and then it was Gogeta Blue for Part 2 next to Full Power Broly. Still waiting for those Zenkai Awakenings. I'm really not sure what they're waiting for so long for, but whatever. So those were those ones. Then we got Ultra Super Gogeta, which was the first summonable Ultra to release during Legends Fest 2021. And then the 4th anniversary gave us Ultra Super Vegito. So that was sort of back-to-back major celebrations that gave us those characters. Then Legends Fest 2022, we got Ultra Gogeta Blue. And then the 5th anniversary, we got Ultra Vegito Blue. So again, we had the 4 biggest celebrations in a row. Legends Fest 2022, 4th anniversary, Legends Fest 2023, 5th anniversary. The Part 3 Ultras were all Fusion Warriors. They were all Vegitos and Gogetas. And now we're heading into Legends Fest 2023, and the last release before we head into the actual Legends Festival banners was the Pikkon who revives into Super Gogeta. Right? We already had gotten Ultra Super Janemba before that, and then they finished off that movie episode campaign with the Pikkon who revives into Super Gogeta. And so we're now in a situation where we don't really have a counterpart to that Gogeta in terms of a Vegito. So I think there's a very, very high chance that we start out part 1 of the celebration with some kind of Super Vegito. Whether it's going to be a new mechanic, where I know a lot of people want to see this, and I want to see this too, but I'm not sure if they're going to do this or not, but I'm just going to throw it out there. It could be a fusing character, the first fusing character we get. Maybe it's going to be a base Goku and Vegeta from the Buu Saga, and there's going to be something that triggers them to fuse into Vegito, whether it's a main ability thing, whether it's tied to their unique gauge, whether it's a revival. I don't know. But I think some sort of Super Vegito for part 1 of the anniversary makes a lot of sense. And that will also fulfill a quota for Fusion Warriors, which definitely, I think the Fusion Warrior team is not bad right now, but it's definitely not where we're used to seeing it, right? Fusion Warriors is a team that always gets buffed during these major celebrations, and the Pikkon release was good. I think he wasn't really like a big hitter character, like a one-man army sort of I'm going to carry the team style character, which is fine, but with the game and how fast power creep moves in this game, it's hard to really release a like supporting defense revival character like that for Fusion Warriors and expect for Fusion Warriors to be able to keep up without getting like a new carry level unit for so long. So I think we could see some sort of Super Vegito for part 1 of the 6th anniversary. And so that would be the first banner. And so we're going to, again, I think the format's going to be 2 LF banners we're going to start off with. So my pick for one of those banners is going to be some kind of Super Vegito. If they want to make it like a true counterpart to the Pikkon Gogeta character, they could make it a tag Goku and Vegeta that revives into Super Vegito. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. It would be the first time we would have a tag switch character that actually has a revival. So it would technically be 3 characters in one, which we've never really seen before. You could kind of make the argument for Pan, the GT Pan we got at the beginning of the year with Giru and Trunks, but not really a true triple unit. So that could be cool. And I think the other banner we could see is, if you guys have noticed, we have not really gotten a ton of future buffs recently, which is a bit strange considering how addicted they are to buffing that tag. I think a tag Goku Black and Zamasu is something that we could definitely see as well. And whether or not they want to do a similar thing with them as they did with as they could do with Vegito, which is maybe it's a tag Rose and Zamasu, and when they die, they revive into Fusion Zamasu. Potentially could happen. I mean, we could really have a double Fusion Warrior Part 1 for this anniversary, 6th anniversary here. And I wouldn't really be opposed to it. I think a character like Fusion Zamasu, we could even sort of pull him up here if I could find him. I guess we could just go to the red one. Let's pick up the red Fusion Zamasu. Where is he? I passed him, huh? Let's just sort by LL. Here he goes. Why is he so low down here? Okay, so anyway, Fusion Zamasu, he would be on Future, Regen, Fusion Warrior, Powerful Opponent. Like, he's on a lot of teams. That could be really good. And I think what they could do also is they could end up potentially giving this guy a Zenkai Awakening. This is also a character where we're waiting for a Zenkai Awakening. We did get a Zenkai for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that came out alongside him, so he's for sure on the table for a Zenkai. He is an anniversary headlining character. He came out at the same time as Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for the 3rd anniversary. So I think this guy could be a potential really good Zenkai character for part 1 of the anniversary. And that could pair up well with a potential, tag Goku Black and Zamasu, and then a Super Vegeta potentially on the other side of things. And now also that we know that we're getting characters that have multiple, or LF characters that have multiple unique equipment, they could potentially revisit this guy. This guy is now at the point where he has a Zenkai and he has a unique equipment, but the unique equipment is very, very old for this guy. They could, if they really wanted to, they could give this guy some sort of like insane unique equipment to sort of try and get him back into the meta in some way. We all know how ridiculous this guy's Z ability is. Plus Zenkai, like this guy's Z ability plus Zenkai ability combo is probably still the best bench combo in the game, I would say. So if they could find a way potentially to get this guy at least usable, it could actually have some sort of impact on the game, I think. So that is an option for sure. And so that's what I'm thinking for part 1. I'm not going to go into like the 1% sparking banner units, but I would imagine we're going to get 1 for each banner. So with Super Vegito, maybe they could give us like some kind of like Supreme Kai. Supreme Kai doesn't exist in the game as a playable character. Kibito doesn't exist in the game as a playable character. Maybe it's going to be a Supreme Kai and Kibito tag unit. I don't know. But I think a Supreme Kai could be interesting. And maybe like some sort of like Elder Kai thing. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking of random stuff. And then for Goku Black and Zamasu, there's a million things they could choose from this. What if we get a Gowasu? Again, I'm trying to think of things we don't have in the game yet. Gowasu could be an interesting 1% character. Like a super support, maybe like a healing character. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, but I could see that being a part 1 setup for the 6th anniversary. Super Vegito, I would actually probably still say is the #1 selling character ever. Even more than Vegito Blue, even more than any version of Gogeta. I think Buu Saga Super Vegito is probably the most popular character for these games that they could release. So then we're going to head into part 2. Again, I think, like I said, part 2 to me, I think is where they're going to stick to the game original thing. They're probably going to give us some kind of Legends original story event to tie into the character, sort of like introduce the scenario where the character would make sense with. This could be literally anything. So me saying what I think it's going to be doesn't actually mean anything, because there are infinite possibilities of what this could be. I'm just trying to think about what the most likely scenario is, due to the character, how hyped the characters would be. And then also I'm looking at Zenkai potential options as well here. So let me actually pull up LFs, because I think it'll be another LF Zenkai. And what do I think would be a very, very exciting Legends Limited Zenkai character for the anniversary? I mean, there's a lot of options that could work potentially here, but I think this character here, we already have Sword of Hope Trunks. This will have been a year since we received the Zenkai for Sword of Hope Trunks. This is the first ever tag character, the Blue Goku and Vegeta from the Broly movie. If they want to start off Zenkaiing this, because this year we already got the first ever revival character Zenkai Awakening with Red Cell. Now we're about to get the Green Gohan. I think this character could be a really, really hype option for a Zenkai during the 6th anniversary. So what character could they do as a Legends original character that would tie into this character getting a Zenkai Awakening? I've said this multiple times in terms of possibilities for characters that I think could come out in terms of game originals. And I think it would end up being a Dragon Ball Super Broly and a Dragon Ball Z Broly tag what if character. That's what I'm expecting here. And again, the reason why I'm coming to that conclusion is I think that would most certainly be hype enough to carry part 2 of Anniversary by itself. And I also think that it makes the most sense in terms of what we could see for a Zenkai for part 2. So I don't really have anything else to say about that. I don't know what their animations would be. It would be completely original stuff. They're obviously Z Broly and Super Broly don't interact at all because they're basically different dimensions of the same character. But I think that could be really cool for Broly fans, for people who just like Broly. That would be like the ultimate character. So I would want to see that. And I think if it doesn't happen during this anniversary, I think it's something they could definitely look at down the road as a what if character. With the what if thing is very, very interesting because there's a lot of different combinations they can do. The one that I want to see the most is Frieza and Cooler. So because we just got a Frieza, I don't know if they would do that, but if they did, LV would be insane, dude. LV would be crazy. Okay, so that would be part 2 for me. Then moving into part 3. Now here is where I think a lot of people are probably going to be on the same page. They started the year off very strong with GT. We got the Universal Spirit Bomb Goku, and then we had the Super 17 at the end of the month. I think there was a very deliberate strategy that they took with GT in terms of not giving them an Ultra, right? There was a very obvious slot at the end of January where they could have put an Ultra in there, but instead they gave a Super 17. And I think the reason why is because they're saving the GT Ultra slot for part 3 of Anniversary. I think they're going to give us a GT Ultra for part 3. And I think the reason why they didn't give us one at the end of January is because they didn't want to overload us with different GT Ultras. It kind of gets awkward when you have multiple Ultras in the same team that don't have their full Ultra ability fulfilled or whatever. And especially for a tag like GT that just hasn't gotten anything, giving us multiple Ultras in such a short period of time, like 4 months like that, I think, or 4 to 5 months, I guess, because it would be part 3, could be a little bit overwhelming for people who are, you know, like finally GT gets a buff and they've been waiting for GT for a long time. So I think the path of going down 2 LFs and 1 Ultra instead of going 2 Ultras and 1 LF, I think makes more sense to me. And we also have the comment that Toshi gave us during that reveal when he said that there is more buffs to come for GT during the year. And so that is very specifically, I think, aimed at part 3 of Anniversary. We'll see. Maybe it's a different part, but I think part 3 will be a GT character. Now, the pick for who I think this is going to be is actually going to depend on what part 1 and part 2 are going to be of the Anniversary. The obvious choice for this Ultra character would be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but I actually don't think it's going to be Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I think Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta could either be Legends Fest, or he could be Anniversary next year in terms of an Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I think they're going to structure this similarly to what we got for Legends Fest last year, right? They started off with giving us Ultra UI Sign Goku. They could have immediately went to the mastered version of UI, but they didn't. They gave us Sign first. So I think what they're going to do here is they're probably going to give us, let's see if I could pull this up here. Not Broly, whoops, I clicked the wrong character. I think they're going to give us, instead of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I think the first Ultra we're going to get is going to be Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And I think it's going to be this guy. This is the character I think we're going to get. It's going to be Baby Saga Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I talked about this in my video where I talked about the 10 characters I think we're going to get during 2024. I think it's going to be the iconic art of him standing on the rock when he just transformed into Super Saiyan 4 for the first time. I think this is what we're looking at least, you know, what I think for part 3 of the 6th anniversary. And then I think the next GT Ultra we get is going to be some kind of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Ultra character. But I don't think they're going to immediately hop into Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as the Ultra. I think they're going to start with Super Saiyan 4 Goku, just like they started off the UI with Sign instead of going straight to Mastered. And I think we'll follow that trend here. And another reason why I think this makes the most sense too is if they start the anniversary with a Super Vegito, I don't know if they're really going to give us 2 immense Fusion Warrior characters during the same celebration. You can point to Legends Fest and say they did 3 Sun Family characters in a row, which is a valid point, but I think Fusion Warriors is a bit different because Fusion Warriors is something that they can draw out and use as a tool to draw people in for different celebrations. Super Vegito is enough as a Fusion Warrior character to carry the 6th anniversary by himself. They don't need to give us Super Vegito and then also give us Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta can be used down the line as an Ultra for a different celebration where they don't already give us a different Fusion Warrior character. So I think strategically, at least from my point of view, it makes the most sense to give us a Super Saiyan 4 Goku here. But again, it's going to depend on what we get for part 1. If we don't end up getting a Fusion Warrior for part 1 or part 2, I could potentially seeing us get Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta for the Ultra for part 3. But so my ultimate selection of what I think is going to happen, again, this is not anything set in stone. I don't know what's happening. I don't have insider information. I'm just saying what I think looks the most likely to me, but there's a million options here. Part 1, dual LF banner dropping on, what did I say, the 25th? Yeah, March 25th, 12 p.m. Japan time. I think part 1 will be some kind of Super Vegeta, whether it's going to be a reviving base Goku and Vegeta tag character into Vegeta, whether it's going to be some kind of new fusion mechanic as one banner. And I think the second banner is going to be some kind of tag Goku Black and Zamasu that maybe also fuses into Fusion Zamasu or revives into Fusion Zamasu. So that would be part 1, those two LF step-up banners. Part 2, I think, could be a What If Legends original character. My pick would be a Z Broly and Super Broly, where we can get a Zenkai Awakening for the blue Goku Vegeta from the Broly movie. And then part 3 would be an Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Goku from his initial transformation during the Baby Saga. So that's what I'm thinking for the 6th anniversary, at least for now. Let me know down below what you guys think in terms of the releases we're going to get. Are there any other characters that you guys would want to see for the anniversary? The thing with Legends is Legends actually releases characters so slowly, which might sound crazy because I think, you know, there are a decent amount of releases that happen, but there are so many hype characters and major characters that exist in the Dragon Ball franchise that it's impossible for them to really keep up with all these different rarities, all these different iterations of these characters, and get I guess use up all those characters, right? So we're never going to reach a point in Legends where it's like, oh my god, we're getting another like Ultra Instinct Goku. Like, I don't think they're going to be able to move fast enough to give us too many of the same kind of character. So I think we're always going to be in a spot in this game, at least if they keep the same pace of character releases, where we're never going to really feel like there's too many of the same kind of character. I could see the argument being made for tags, where it's like they keep buffing the same tag over and over again, but it's never really the same character, you know what I'm saying? So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys want to see for the anniversary? And I will see you all in the next one.